Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to say thank you very much for your support in this channel. I have closely followed the Homa Bay political rally that was organized and clothed as Raila Odinga's memorial event. And that event has been riddled by ODM executive members skipping it. The event clearly turning out to be a 2027 presidential campaign platform for William Ruto, and clearly it fell short of its expectation. And in this podcast, I am going to explain to you how, while Wanga wants to thrust into the political picture, into the national picture, the big political script that the ilk is playing cannot achieve that dream. And even if it is a promise of a running mate slot, then that is part of the political con that she's into. But before we get much into those details, I want to once again request you to subscribe to our channel. This week, we were targeting Team UK that have realized they have so many clicks from UK, but they have not yet subscribed. And of course, the numbers increased. Yesterday, I didn't produce any video, but I've checked today, the numbers gone to around 29%. So the viewers from UK, this is your week. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. But again, I also need to give you an update about this project we have been doing in Migori. We've been building, my team is in Migori. David is still in Migori. We are building a house for Bildad here. This is Bildad, who got involved in an accident, lost. He broke her spinal cord, was then crippled. Then when he came home, the wife also left and remarried. So she was left to take care of the 4 children. So that is why we responded by building him a house, because he had a house that was in a very bad condition, to build him a house, and that for the children. So just want to update you. So far, hapa ndio nyumba imefika. And we are hoping, they've now done the plastering ya ndani, I think. And we are hoping that by next week on Tuesday, we should go there to officially hand over the 2 houses. Hii ni nyumba yenye yake. Alafu the other house for the children pia ilikuwa imeanza. So we're hoping that by that time, watakuwa wameshaimuono ni kuweka mchanga, so that as when we will be there on Tuesday to officially hand over, we'll give the 2 houses. Now, I was requesting you people that I have the only gap remaining to finish that project. Okay, this took us because we were building 2 houses. But it was in my opinion that if it is possible, it is not just enough for builder to have a house. If we can set up a business for her, for him, and also there is 2 children we wanted to pay fees for before we leave. That is what is remaining. And between today to Tuesday, I'll remind you, for those who can still partake of that part of that project, please don't be left behind.
Ajali 2016 mwezi wa 8. Tangu nipate ajali siwezi fanya kazi yoyote. Niko chini. Hapa ndiyo nyumba yangu. Niko na watoto 4 hapa. Sasa naomba tu kama mnaweza munisaidie nipate nyumba mzuri. Juu hii nyumba yangu hata iko karibu kuanguka.
Let's go to this. And let me start here. The very first National Executive Council meeting that was convened in Westlands, that meeting was convened by the deputy party leader, not by the party leader, the interim party leader of Odinga. And part of the resolution that came from that meeting was to ensure that the memorial services are held, Homa Bay, Migori, and Kilifi, to give opportunity for those who did not go to Bondo, probably also to mourn Raila. It was a very noble idea. And there was a statement I wanted to get, that all party officials are supposed to participate fully in those events. Listen to this Sifuna soundbite.
The party appeals to all members and all Kenyans to now focus on celebrating the gift of his forward, and that we do it in a dignified manner as his leadership, legacy and sacrifice to the country deserve. That we will participate in all activities organized in his honor in a disciplined and respectful manner. I am aware that the party has dispatched the governor of Kisumu to go and represent us in Kampala, where there is a memorial service happening, I think, tomorrow this week.
Now, I wanted you to listen to that soundbite first, because as we go to the next, we are going to have a checklist. What exactly happened? However, it is very sad. The event that was supposed to be an ODM, that was supposed to be a Raila memorial event, it was hijacked because it was being organized in Homa Bay. It was hijacked by Wanga, and it became a more political affair for people that want to sing two-term for President Ruto. And I think since Raila's death, Wanga, who is the Homa Bay governor, has been courting controversy. And in one of her speeches here, that has a clip here, she seems to speak with some sort of entitlement. And this really worries. Like,
hakuna. Mimi nimekuwa mbunge miaka 10, nimekuwa gavana sasa. Kama kuna mbunge ambaye hafanyi kazi na mimi, atakuwa na maendeleo chache sana kupelekea watu wake. Kwa hivyo mkichagua mbunge haelewani na gavana, nyinyi mtakuwa upinzani. Sasa
why would an MP get development through the governor? Will an MP be a friend of the governor to get development? Because I want to believe very clearly the constitution that even Raila fought for is very clear. The person who oversights the governor is the MCA. The member of parliament is the nexus between the national government and the people. And the constitution is very distinct and very definite. It's very clear on that distinction. So what Wanga says to me is something that stinks to some sort of entitlement. And what really worries many is all of a sudden, what is bringing that entitlement? Let me show you another poster here. In Magarini, in Kilifi, there are campaigns. ODM candidate Harrison Kombe is facing Stanley Kenga of DCP. And in Magarini, Wiper Party has withdrawn its candidate, and the Wiper candidate is supporting the DCP candidate. Now, a poster emerged after Raila's death. Quickly, Oburu Odinga was put as the interim party leader. But in this poster, yule mtu amekwa kwa picha, that place is actually Wanga. And people are asking, how was that decision made? Ni Wanga aliwekwa, as if she's the senior-most leader in the ODM party, and quite a number of some leaders from the party has been sending us this poster. Really, people are talking in the corridors. What for? Let's go to that event. I was giving this pronunciation just to make out some observation on how it all came to. If you look at this photo, that event was heavily mobilized. And it was mobilized with the ODM colors. Someone should not lie to you that people just went there. No, those people were mobilized and ferried. Those are not people that exclusively live within the town. Even though nowadays forms, pesa mingi kidogo kidogo, people come. I actually saw a more of an ODM event than a morning event, but of course that is understandable because Raila was the ODM leader. So if he is to be mourned by the ODM colors, There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The event was heavily mobilized. Coming days after, Wanga mobilized another heavily attended event in Sikri, Oyugis, for some empowerment forum where government people came. So before this event, there were questions, and a section of Homa Bay leaders were actually, raising questions on that event, on the source of money, the source of the money. Is it being funded by the ODM party HQ, or it is funded by the chairperson, or is it funded by Homa Bay County? But they've been dismissing claims that they are funding that event. So the issue of funding remained not very clear in that party. But the second observation from that is going to show you something. I played for you a soundbite of Sifuna and the Sifuna raiding that all officials are supposed to participate. Memorial event for the party leader is held in Homa Bay. Not even a single, ODM party has 3 deputy party leaders, Godfrey Osotsi, Simba Arati, and Abdul Swamad. Not even one of the 3 attended the event. They all skipped the event. And maybe you might argue that they were a bit committed. I am seeing something. A day after Simba Arati held some mobilization in Kitengela, he's also been captured doing another event in Nakuru. And also with the ODM colors, the Kisii governor, who is amongst the deputy party leaders in the ODM party, is also moving around the country campaigning. And the question is, which position is Simba Arati vying for? Okay. So I was curious, if they are speaking in one voice, if the ODM party is solid as a unit, as leaders are saying, then why would Simba Arati hold a parallel event in Nakuru while the memorial service for party leader is happening in Homa Bay? Something is not very clear here. Not even the Secretary General, Edwin Sifuna, or even the Vice Chair, Otiende Amolo, was in Homa Bay. By the way, people don't know, the Vice Chair for the ODM party is Otiende Amolo. Yeye ndio deputy wa Wanga. He was also not in Homa Bay. Looking keenly, I also tend to feel that Nyanza governors were supposed to attend that event. They skipped it. The only governor who attended is Ochila Yako. And this is because Ochila Yako, they are going to hold another one tomorrow in Migori. So keep it here. I'm also going to follow up the one in Migori. So Ochila Yako is also supposed to hold the same. Nyon'go, Orengo were all absent. No member of Raila family. There's one person I was expecting to attend, Ruth Odinga. She's also a deputy organizing secretary of the party. She was not there. And remember, recently, while in Mombasa, she's amongst the faction that clashed with Wanga, telling Wanga there is nothing like broad-based party. What is there is an ODM party. She was also not there. Guys, a quick thought. Do you think someone from Raila family needed to be there? Raila Jr., Winnie, someone there? Do you think? Of course, I'm not mentioning Mama Ida because Mama Ida is very committed in Bondo. I have a subsequent video coming on that, so I didn't see that. So who attended? Governor Chila Yako, Minority Leader Junet, Deputy Governor from Kisumu Matthews Owili, Peter Kaluma Homa Bay, Sama Tande MP Alego, Peter Masara Sona West, Lilian Gogo Rangwe, Joyce Sogo Bensuda Women Rep Homa Bay, Dr. Ivo Bara Kabondo Kasipul MP, Fatuma Full Network Women Rep Migori, Walter Wino MP Awendo, Boyd Were, ODM candidate for Kasipul and then MCS. if you look at this list, apart from Atandi from Alego and Matthews Owili, the deputy governor of Kisumu, no any other leader. The majority of those who attended this event are from Homa Bay and Migori. Yes. Mark that. That should not go unnoticed. A clique, even a clique of ODM leaders, because we told ODM is a national party. Not even a single ODM leader from Western. Remember Ojamong, not Ojamong, Otuoma from Busia, Wanjala, Budalangi MP, Kakamega governor, that is, who is his name? What is his name? Kakamega governor, the Fernandez Baraza. None of them attended that event. And that event was heavily attended by Wanga. It means that the fact that the access of that meeting was Wanga was not very receptive for many people. Now, when you look at the crowds, when people are talking, and I want you to get this one from Ochila Yako. I sampled a couple of speeches from Ochila Yako, Junet, Atandi, and Wanga, and Oburu. Ayako, Tandi, Wanga, Oburu. These four leaders. The speeches are a bit flat. Of course, I saw them trying the Raila, what Raila used to do, to move across the stadium. I saw that. Ochila Yako trying to spew some message on what they think about the broad-based. And the crowd is flat.
Mimi nawaomba viongozi wetu wa chama, mimi nikiwa mmoja wao, tuzingatie na tuhakikishe tumetimiza zile ahadi Raila alipeana kwa niaba yake ya watu wa ODM na mrengo yake wakiwa pamoja na President Ruto, ili wananchi wasiwachwe nyuma. Ukweli ama sio ukweli? Alisema mambo ya ugatuzi yangaliwe, alisema mambo ya human rights uangaliwe, ajira ya vijana na mambo mengi sana. Raila no wacho koseo ko wacho. But what is important is, in order to succeed, we must stay united. In order to succeed and form the next government, sisi wenyewe wale tuko hapa, we must unite and continue reaching out. Juzi niliona mwenzetu mwingine ambaye wako na cheo akisema ati tuachane na broad-based government. Mimi nataka kusema hivi. One of the rules of increasing the numbers you have is to keep what you already have. The second rule is to continue looking for friends, not divorcing friends. I therefore want to appeal to all of us. Si Ruto ni rafiki. If we are looking for more friends so that we continue being formidable, we must do as best we can to keep the one we have and look for more. Adieriko seo kadieri.
The rallying call from every speaker in that event did not mirror something on Raila memory or memorial. There was nothing to mirror, make it look like a Raila memorial. It was actually a political rally of the leaders telling the people how they should be in government and how Baba told me. The choirs of how Baba told me what Baba told me. Junet even struggled to pull anti-Rigathi rhetoric to excite the crowd, but wapi.
Tunafanya kazi karibu na baba wetu ambaye ametuacha, Raila Amolo Odinga. Na mimi ni minority leader katika bunge. Na mimi naongea nikijua mimi ni mtu wa ODM. Hatuwezi kufanya tena mchezo ya kupata na potea, karata ya pota na potea. Baba ni mtu alikuwa na maono ndefu sana, na alikuwa anataka chama yake ikue katika serikali ya broad base, kwa sababu alikuwa anataka kusaidia wananchi ya Kenya wapate amani, wapate uhuru, wapate maendeleo na maisha ya wananchi badilike. Sasa wewe Wengine wanatusomea hapa, wanatuambia ati ODM haifai kuwa kwa serikali, ODM inafai kuwa opposition. Si wewe ufanye kazi hiyo? Wakati ambaye Rigathi Gachagua alikuwa kwa serikali, si unakumbuka vile alikuwa anapiga sisi asubuhi mapema saa 11 akienda kwa ofisi kuja kupiga watu ya ODM, si mnakumbuka? Sasa hii ni wakati yake ya kunyoroshwa. Pana cheza na sisi. Sisi sio wajinga, si namna hiyo. Sisi sio
wapi. And because that is what I wanted to, and in fact there can be no Raila. Can never be another Raila. I saw Atandi. His speech, he spoke on the need for ODM MPs, for leaders to vote ODM MPs, and how also to support them because they've brought development to the people. This is what he said in that Donwo speech. That's generally what he's saying. Just summarized it. The people are just staring. And it means those message, in fact, that message of we are in government is almost flat. I'm going to explain that. Let me not go there because I'm going to explain. The convener of this meeting is Wanga. And if someone is thinking that she can mobilize the crowds and probably through that become the new kingpin or something, it seems not. To me, it seems not to work.
We will remain in support of the administration of Dr. William Samoei Ruto. We will remain inside the broad-based government because that is what we agreed with Baba. And come 2027, ODM will either form government as a party or be part of the coalition that will form the next government of the Republic of Kenya. And I want to ask you, our people, because we are your servants, I want to ask you, adwa penjo ujo thurwa. Nikech jomoko wacho ni wawuoge broad based. Jomoko wacho ni watimre nade wawuogi. Jiadi kiyie ni mondo wabede I broad based. Ting na badi kifua ogudu malo ewi yamo kama. To jiadima wacho ni wawuogi. Jiadima wacho ni wawuogi. Wangapi wanasema tutoke? Wangapi wanasema tutoke? Wangapi wanasema tubaki ndani ya hii broad-based government under the President William Samoei Ruto? Wangapi wanasema sisi hatutabanduka kutoka ndani ya chama chetu ambacho kilituliwachiwa na baba yetu ndani ya ODM? Wangapi wanakubali tubaki ndani ya ODM? Ndani ya ODM, ndani ya ODM.
And the messages are very flat. The only person who gave a speech that is worth listening to is Oburu Odinga, because at least he is saying that as young people from Luo Nyanza, make sure as young people, as Gen Zs, young people as Gen Zs, make sure you register to vote in the next general election. That to me is a more critical message. By even registering as a voter and making conscious decision in the next general election, you've even honored Raila, because Raila was the father of democracy.
Now, Raila left us in ODM. This is the precious prize he left for us. He left us with a very precious gold, which is the party of ODM. And he left us with a message of unity. We have to unite, and I'm telling people of ODM all over the country that if you don't unite, nobody will respect you. If you are a weak party, nobody will want to negotiate with you. People in politics, people like you as much as the people love you. How many people are you bringing on the table? How many votes are you bringing on the table? That is as much, people love you as much as that. But I'm also pleading with you, my people. Last time, you did not register as it should be. And I'm urging you, registration is coming. Please, my Gen Z, my age mate, my Gen Zs, please register. Please register as voters. Because that is the only weapon we shall use to change this country. You cannot change the country when you don't have a vote. Nobody is going to respect you if he knows you are just a talker, an empty talker, and you don't have a vote. The only weapon that you can fight for and make changes in this country is through the ballot. The ballot is the only way. And that is the only democratic principle for which Raila stood. And therefore, my people, I'm urging you to stay in this broad-based government, but also vote.
I tend to believe this event was not an ODM event. This event was an event organized by a cabal within the ODM party that are scrambling to be the next in the succession race. And I did see Babu Owino. Yes. I'm very sure angekuko your crowd, things would have been different. I want to draw some 5 political interpretations of what I have seen in that event. There is this statement, the pitch on we are staying in government. We are not leaving government. That pitch is very flat. And I need to tell this. I need to say it. There is an argument that we stay in government and then negotiate in 2027. My question still remains, and I've been saying it and I'll still repeat. The moment you start saying totem now, you don't have the negotiation edge. You cannot negotiate anything more. There is also the other debate that we walk out of government, be neutral, and then negotiate from outside. This is my response. There is no point of leaving government, of staying in government. There is nothing like opposition in this country. Everything has to remain the way it is. However, we should remain within the dictates of what the party stood for. Human rights, democracy, justice, equity. So whether you are in government or not, what the identity the party needs to remain with is that. Through that, you can open up. And the second thing is this. Wananchi is being told that staying with Ruto is government, as if there is no election. And I say from this podcast, you can be told everything. But after 2027 general election, how can you be shocked that even ODM with ODM Ruto is in opposition? So the politics of who is going to be in opposition should not be used to convince you. Maybe. What should remain are the dictates of what Raila stood for, what ODM party was built for. And me in this podcast, that's what I've been saying. Now, this statement that will form government or will be part of the next government, if you allow me to listen to it keenly, William Ruto seemed to have told these people that I will vie through ODM, or if I don't vie through ODM, then I must form a coalition with ODM. But a more appropriate message he seemed to have told them is that I will vie through ODM, but will have coalition with other parties. Let me say this. I can foretell and mark this podcast, mark this video. There are two things that will not happen. ODM will not, William Ruto will not seek re-election through ODM because there is something he knows very clearly. That house is not solid. Number two, if William Ruto is telling Wanga or anyone within ODM that is going to be his running mate, he is lying to you. Keep that. And if you want to know, pick your call and ask Irungu Kangata and Ann Waiguru. Wanga is cutting a niche under the ODM party, and her language seems to suggest that she has been promised something. She speaks like she's above all, and she acts like she's above even Oburu. Maybe Ruto is dangling a gender card and might have told some people or her that, look here, in 2027, Baba wanted a woman running mate. So I will pick you as my running mate to fulfill the Baba's dream. These things, you know, I like it. I like making this because these are things that have happened. In the run-up to 2022 general election, there is a way, you know, people were asking, what is the gel that UDA used, the President Ruto used to gel the UDA together? It was all this manner of promises. And you need to ask, if mwananchi, kama pale nje kwa kuwanja ndio mwananchi anakuwa promised everything, what do you think leaders can be promised in closed door, in boardrooms? The other interpretation is this. NIS is clearly running a very good survey of where Raila masses can head in 2027. And by these political forums that they're organizing, I'm so sure that President Ruto's NIS really are fully dispatched in those crowds, are fully dispatched in those environments, just to gather what are people saying. And in fact, by the time we get to 2027, William Ruto will have a clear picture of where the Nyanza vote can go. And that is to mean the Homa Bay event may not have been funded by the party, not even by Wanga as a person, but may have been funded heavily by the broad-based choir through the deep set. And lastly, ODM party leaders are fashioning that party as a Luo affair. I don't hear them. I'm listening to their speeches in Dholuo. I can say this. The party is being fashioned as a Luo shell. And I don't know how they are fashioning it as a Luo shell and they still want to say that we want to negotiate with it. But there was nothing like negotiation. When Raila formed that party, throughout his political career, he's been vying. So now for the first time, the party will not have a presidential candidate. But I don't think the fashioning of it as a Luo outfit, one, I don't think it will work. Number two, it will not give them that negotiation edge. Let's meet in the next. And kindly support our project.